So we're going to open tonight's July 1st Board of Selectmen's meeting. We're going to start with the pledges of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we're going to do a little bit of a change of format tonight from our normal procedures on how we run the meeting. Just a poll for the room. Who's here about the town beach? Perfect. That works out. We are going to be going to a quick non-public meeting. And hopefully we're going to come back with an answer for you guys on the town beach and the operations of when it's going to be open. So we're going to do that first off before we do our 7 o'clock agenda to talk about the changing of, or this keeping of the recycling center hours. And then after that, we'll move on to the regular scheduled minutes on the meeting as we go through our manifest and payroll and all that. So we're changing it up tonight in order to accommodate all you guys, instead of having to sit through a whole meeting and maybe at 9 o'clock at night finally get to speak. So that's what we're trying to do. We all go with that?
Appreciate it.
You want us to leave?
No, we're gonna, because there's so many people here, we're quickly just gonna use conference room 2. So we'll do our motion to go into non-public. We're just gonna walk down to conference room 2, do our quick meeting, and come back, present what we've done, and then move on with the meeting after that.
Okay.
All right, and then if there's questions, but there shouldn't be any questions, I hope, for what we come back with, but we'll go over that with you too. But we're just trying to expedite this for all you folks here tonight. But since we have some time before we do that, does anybody have any questions on the payroll or manifest? Do we want to make any motions on that?
I'll make a motion to approve the accounts payable for 6/24/24 and payroll for June 25th, 24.
I'll second those.
So we have a motion and a second on the payroll and the manifest. All in favor, roll call.
Aye, Steve Welch. Aye, John Decker.
Aye, John Moran.
I, Tim DeBrio.
Anything on the minutes?
I had a couple quick things. Line 53, 136 should be 156. And line 254, Cahill, should be Cahill, one word.
Noted.
I'm sorry, what was the second line number?
254.
250.
That's the spelling of Cahill.
Yep. Not 2 words.
Any other?
That's all I had.
Steve? Nobody? Okay. Anybody want to make a motion on the minutes for 6/17?
Make a motion to approve the public minutes for June 17th, 2024,
As amended.
as amended.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, roll call.
Aye, Steve Welch. Aye, John Decker.
Aye, John Moran.
I, Tim DeBrio.
Perfect.
I make a motion to approve the non-public meeting minutes from June 17th, 2024.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second for the non-public minutes for the meeting of June 17th. Roll call.
Aye, Steve Welch. Aye, John Decker.
Aye, John Moran.
I, Tim DeBrio.
Probably Andrew, we can do the legal portion of it.
Yes, we're gonna enter non-public.
What's that?
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to make a motion?
Yep. I'll make a motion to move into non-public per RSA 91A:3, 2, C, and L.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to go into our non-public session. Roll call vote.
Aye, Steve Welch. Aye, John Decker.
Hi, John Moran.
Hi, Tim DeBrio.
All right, guys, we'll be back in very shortly. Hopefully very shortly.
Well, the TV is on. Anybody who wants to start a coup, they can take over.
They're gonna do these things, yeah, they're gonna go into their.
Yes. They are going, the board is meeting with patronals to discuss the situation about town bridge. Yeah, that's what they're hoping that they will have. So, they'll come back, they'll make an announcement. They probably will not allow discussion at that point. They have a 7 p.m. public hearing, which they have to do. And they normally do not allow public comment until the very end, which
But
is
the 7 p.m. And then he also listens on
the recycling center.
so they won't have any public testimony on
Not until the end of the meeting, normally, and it's probably like 2.5 hours away.
and then they will take public testimony.
They will take the public comment, yes. They do public comment at the end. I'm looking at their agenda. This looks a little longer than usual.
I just got home from work.
I'm looking at their agenda, and this looks like it will take a little longer than usual because they have the public hearing.
What's the big
The staff of the recycling center they petitioned to change the hours. The staff. The staff do not like summer hours. No, Thursday only. Thursday only. No, the summer hours affect Thursday only. So, in the winter, the recycling center on Thursday is open from 9 to 5. In summer, it's open from 11 to 7.
So they want to change
Right.
what's the
There is no public hearing. The position's been eliminated. There, formerly, the recycling center and the highway department reported to the public works. They hired a highway department director. And the supervisor of the recycling center now reports to the town administrator. Except now there is no supervisor. Now the supervisor was fired like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
They have kind of two different departments. Recycling and highway. And what is, obviously the staff doesn't have a supervisor, so what's the easiest to change the
I don't like it. They say nobody comes.
I've always said that.
I have been there on Thursday evening. I normally go on Thursday morning, midday. And it is less busy on Thursday evenings.
So for me, I would be confident. I don't want to see anybody much news now. In the summer, the only time I really have to get it done.
Tonight's your night to talk about it.
And it's hard. I like these guys. I leave at 6:30 in the night, 6 in the night. Sometimes I work Saturdays. To me, it's
I understand you've had summer hours this way
I've been here 35 years. Go to Thursday night and Saturday. Actually, we're open Wednesday.
and I heard that there used to be even more hours in the past.
Yeah, so we're open Wednesday, like 9 to 5, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and probably maybe 10 years ago, we started doing Wednesday. Kind of during the reception, 2011, cut down. And then we started. Everyone has different schedules and they live in this community.
Very few people work in town unless they work at home.
Right, exactly. So just because we are law enforcement, like me, I work in it's hard to try and make well, they got Wednesdays out. That was surprised me now. Not Thursday night. Then we would have to go Friday and Saturday. And what's the reason for this?
I actually know the details.
I mean, I work at Public Works, so you sign up and do the job, and you have to accommodate the hours of what they are. Concord, we have our transfer station.
Well, that was what appeared to have gotten the former supervisor fired. So what happened was the staff petitioned, the town administrator allowed them not to switch to summer hours the first week they were supposed to. Monday after that, the issue was discussed by the board. The board decided to keep summer hours. The Thursday after that, the recycling
It's in the board's decision. Oh, so you, I thought you were saying that
Well, I'm pretty sure that's the reason. It's not a matter of him disagreeing, he literally didn't open it. He came 5 o'clock and closed. Well, that got him fired. I'm here every meeting. I write. I'm Doug Bates. I write the
unfortunately, I don't have to learn anything
have it delivered to your inbox by email.
My son's very, very, very active. I'm so active. I mean, I just want to come to these. And he's pretty involved. I appreciate it.
Hello, everybody. Hello. I'm going to cheat on the Board of Adjustment. I am going to take advantage of their absence to invite you all to join us this Thursday at Nottingham Square. At 8 o'clock in the morning, there's fantastic music and a free meal. And then at 9 o'clock, for the first time in the town's history, a woman will be reading the Declaration of Independence by Winona. So you all please come in 8 o'clock this Thursday, July 4th. And I've given you all the day off. So I really would love to have you there. This is the tradition. Hi, John. I spooked you.
Thanks for being the entertainment, Steve. Appreciate that.
What's our capacity in this room? Let's hurry up.
You'll never do a good job of it.
Do you want to make the motion to come out?
We already did in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
but don't we have to?
We have to do it, can we do it in public?
Okay, make a motion to move out of non-public.
All right, I'll second that motion.
We got a motion and a second to move out of non-public. A roll call.
Aye, Steve Welch. Aye, John Decker.
Hi, John Moran.
Aye, Tim DeBrio.
Good news is we've reached an agreement to reopen the town beach. So the opening day will be sent out on a Nexel alert. We'll have it on the website. It's not open tomorrow. All right? You'll know when we open it, but it will be open fairly soon. We still have to wait to put the swim lines in. We still have to get the porta potty in there. We still gotta do some, the road/trail cleanup so that it's safe to passage through, to get to the town beach. This is stuff we're gonna expedite this week. So our hope will be that it'll be open for the weekend. That is what we're shooting for right now. There will be new signage and new postings for the rules that are gonna be a part of the beach. This beach is a privilege for the town to have. If people violate the rules that are written and stuff, this beach will go away. All right, let's make that clear. So anybody you see the rules, there is no paddle boards on the beach. You'll see this will be all put in signs. There's no bringing your canoe to the beach. The beach is made for swimming only. Bring your family, swim, enjoy the day on the beach, perfect. But it's not a place to bring paddle boards, canoes. It's not a place to go explore the woods. The beach is the areas for you to recreate on the beach area. All right, all the land around it is not permission to be trespassing, to be going over, to be doing whatever. Those are reasons why it got closed the first time and why we had to come to this agreement. I'm not to be harsh, but I just want to make sure that we understand the rules of, and the privileges and the luckiness that we have to have an access to a beach like this in town. So please respect the rules of the beach so that we don't have to have further conversations about it and we can keep it going on for many years ahead of time. So again, our plan is to have it open for this weekend. But again, we have to, the swim lines should be here. I believe that we said that we might see them on Tuesday, which is tomorrow. So we'll get those in the water as soon as possible. But again, the plan should be having it open for this weekend. It'll be open for the rest of the summer. The hours are going to be from 9 to 7 for the beach. And it's going to be open 7 days a week. And again, we're going to be still closing back on Memorial Day to Labor Day. So the hours are still going to be like they've been through all the years past.
Probably still a lot of cleanup to do on the beach, too.
There is, so volunteer help, we'll probably set up a date right after we get it open for a day, maybe even next week, where we can do a volunteer cleanup. So if people want to come with their rakes and stuff like this to clean up the pine needles and stuff like that, that would be greatly appreciated. So we'll inform you about that too. That's on the plan. But again, to have it open for swimming access, you know, our goal is to have it open for Saturday.
Thank you.
So now, getting close to the 7 o'clock time, we're gonna do a couple quick things, and then we have a public hearing at 7 o'clock for about our town recycling center hours. That was the major thing for this meeting. So in case you guys all wanna stay and put your comment in about the recycling center and the hours, one of the things that we're gonna be on this open public was, we did a poll at the recycling center. We did a poll online where people brought comments and stuff like this. One of the concerns for the recycling center was the hours of operation. For years, we've had the hours of operation on Thursdays during summer hours, which we would go till 7 o'clock at night. You know, it'd be open from 11 to 7. They did traffic studies and counts, and working with the employees that we have, which everybody knows is tough to find employees. It's been brought to us the attention that they might want to keep the hours just 9 to 5 on Thursday, just like all year round. So instead of having summer hours, just consistently, all year round, it's gonna be 9 to 5. Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. This is what the public hearing is gonna be about today, for anybody to bring their feedback on the fact of going straight to those hours and not having the summer hours anymore of the 11 to 7 on Thursdays. And when we go into that meeting, I'll bring up some information which we got from polls that we took and what people said online, and we're gonna have that conversation. Okay? All right. So right now, we're gonna, close enough to 7, since we're 5 minutes away. Did every you guys here get the chance to look at the online poll that was taken?
I mean, right, we didn't get a lot of responses.
Not as many as we were hoping, but
No. It's, I didn't actually count them. Was there a summary?
I'm like 25, 26.
Well, it looks like the majority of the people that were online didn't mind going back to the straight across year-round 9 to 5 hours from people that posted. There was a petition that was brought on, if you went to the the recycling center, I apologize for that. You probably were asked to sign. I don't know if any of you guys been there in the past couple weeks.
I've been there every weekend, I've never seen anything.
No one's,
I haven't either.
none of the guys came up to ask you to sign their
They
petition?
only did that, they only did that for 2
There
weekends.
weekly.
They only did that, it was like 2 weekends early
Okay.
in May that they had done that.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
Well, they got quite a few signatures about having the hours staying 9 to 5 year-round. So right now, I'm gonna basically, since, from what we have in front of us, for information given to us, it looks to be from the responses that keeping the hours 9 to 5 straight across all year long and no longer having the 7 o'clock is what we got from information from people.
I think if you take your tally, it's like an even vote.
Right, it's pretty even.
Yeah, but we
'cause
still had a
there's-
lot from the petition that we had for the
Yeah,
last,
but is
all
that
those things
petition
signed.
actually accurate?
Well,
You can't count the petition.
okay, that's, you
It didn't
can,
have other options.
Right, it didn't have any option, it just was like, yeah.
And
son
I
signed
got
it, wasn't
notice
sure
from
he
a
was
couple of
signing.
people, they thought you were signing
Okay.
closed entirely.
well, that should have been brought up, thanks.
So, yeah, this is pretty even. It's like 6 for option 1, 2 for option 7, 4 for option 3.
Yeah, but then you have people making
there
their
was
own
a-
hours.
And then there was like 2 that were just not,
Right. I mean, who wouldn't want it to be open on Sundays?
Yeah, but that's not gonna
But
happen.
it's, yeah, we can't staff it.
right.
Great idea, but
Well, I'm looking at this more of the people that were saying the 9 to 5,
Right.
changing hours to Sundays, that's not,
Right, some
I'm not
of the
using
people
that as
added
a-
Sundays in the option 2, which is the current, the non-switching hours.
and I'm not taking that into consideration
Yeah.
for the Sunday hours,
Yeah,
because we've never, ever been open on Sunday,
no,
so.
that would be more.
not in this town.
No.
More of a burden right now. What do the other towns have? Just for comparison. Barrington is Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday with one night till 6.
So, and people, there was also the traffic count that was done, on 5:16, 5:23, 5:30, 6:06, 6:13, 6:20, and 6:27. And it seems like between the hours of 5 and 7, you're roughly in the ballpark of like 20 people show up. So whether to have it open for the 20 people, and they could be the same people every,
Right, but it's not a bad number. I don't know what we
No.
get on a regular out,
Right. What is it from?
I know Saturdays are the busy days.
9 to 5.
Right.
Did the count show how many people showed up between 9 and 11 on Thursday mornings?
No. It just shows
Right.
this 5 to 6 and 6 to 7 hours. Unfortunately. Lee is open till 5:45 every night. Northwood has 2 days that they're open till 7. Stratford has 1 day that they're open till 7. Deerfield has 2 days that they're open till 6:45. And which is basically what our hours are too, because they close the gate at 4:15.
so what are you saying?
But this is a public hearing, you should hear from the public.
Exactly.
No, absolutely. But normally we have our discussion here, then we open it up to the public,
Yeah.
to go into the questioning. So I'm kind of just trying to get the,
I personally would like to see it stay open for the summer hours.
I
my
kind of,
personal
that would
feeling.
be probably my preference as well. But I'd
So
like
it's
to hear.
personal preference.
I'd like
no,
to hear
absolutely,
from
yeah.
others if there's any input. If you're
All right,
ready
so
for
this
that.
is the time right now, we're just gonna open it up to the public for anybody to come speak about, again, what we're talking about right now is the fact of whether we change the hours of the recycling center to keep it at 9 to 5 all year round, or as we've done for many, many years, during the summertime, when it's light out, we switch the hours from 11 to 7 on Thursday only. So does anybody want to come up and speak about favoritism towards one or to the other?
The town beach, but you have my interest.
All right, good.
Yeah, I'm Dan. I live down Deerfield Road, of course. And
Dan what?
Dan Davis, I'm sorry. I think that you should stagger it. Because there's some people who don't have 9 to 5 hours. All right, so at least one day, you give those people a day to go to the transfer station.
So like,
So
keeping
keeping it to the summer hours, the way
Well,
we
does
have.
the summer hours include every day, late hours? It doesn't have to be every day. Give them one day.
It's one day.
No, it's just one day. It's just on Thursdays, 9 to 7.
Understood.
And we only do
Yeah.
it, we only do it during the summer hours because of the fact that during the fall and winter, it's dark after
And
5
garbage smells a
o'clock.
lot worse in the summer.
Well, it's more for the fact of, it's more for the fact of just people doing stuff.
I think the whole thought behind it originally was probably people go on vacation,
Yeah.
so they're not here on Friday and Saturday, where they can make it on Sunday, bring their
Yeah.
recyclables down, and personal feeling.
Yeah. And who takes care of the solid waste? Is there a contract with a middleman?
Yeah.
Or is it turnkey
Yeah.
landfill? We should look at that as well, because that could be a big cost savings.
We negotiate it every year.
Yeah.
Okay. Directly with, say, turnkey and waste management, or?
Yep.
Here goes out to bid.
Okay. All right, that's it. That's all.
Come on up, Skip.
Good evening, Skip Severns, 340 Stage Road. I was wondering what the ground rules were. It sounds like it's just, you're just talking about the hours basically on Thursday, not any other days or anything else?
The only thing that we're talking about is whether we're changing the hours on Thursday. Well, that was the prime,
Okay,
because that's what the complaint was the,
right.
people weren't utilizing the 5 to 7 time frame, so why are we open? And why don't we keep it just 9 to 5 straight across the year?
Yeah.
That's how the subject came up, for why
Okay.
we're here.
Did I also hear at one of your meetings that there are contract, whatever you want to call it, with DES is from 6 to 6?
That is correct.
So 9 to,
It's-
11?
It's not a contract, it's so the town has to file an operations plan with DES. It's part of our solid waste permitting process. So it just pretty much outlines the operational guidelines for the facility. We have to have something in place, but it doesn't necessarily mean that, if there's a change to that, we should update that operating plan.
Okay, is that something we're willing to do if that changes, or?
Well, most likely, yeah, because it should have been done 20 years ago,
Right,
but
right.
we're not gonna go back and,
That I hear.
Whatever.
That I hear.
And I assume that other towns either are doing the same thing as us or have it in their plan, because if they're open till 7, so,
Well, don't forget, we were the first ones.
Yeah.
So,
In the nation.
yeah, so
as a
I,
recycling center, yeah, we were.
yeah, so
yeah.
that might have a lot to do with it. Anyway, for my purposes, I'd like to see it open 24/7. So anytime I find a recycling item, I can dump it. Now, I know that's not practical. I know we have,
You looking for a job?
I already stopped in today and she was checking out some of that stuff.
Hired.
But, no, my attitude is, anytime the recycling center's open, I'm happy to go and deposit my materials.
so you don't have a say whether you'd like to stay open to 7 for the summer hours?
No,
or
as long as I know what the hours are, I know when to go.
Well, it doesn't matter, he's retired. We've got time.
Well, that helps.
Not that you got time,
That helps.
you can make time.
I'll add a third item, neutral.
I think you already know that on that survey thing.
This is the in-room one, so. Anybody else want to say anything?
Transit, yeah, there's Skips, yeah.
Yeah, please. Again, this is why we're having it, so if you have an input or a question, feel free to come up and let us know.
I'm Robin Marshall, 189 Old Turnpike Road, and I can see it both ways. I know when I signed the petition, they said they're there early anyway, and to have to stay till 7 is a really long day for them. So I kind of felt bad for them, so I did sign it. But I know I'm retired now, but when I worked, it was nice if it was open till 7, because I didn't often get home till after 6, and I knew I could quickly get in and get there before 6:45 and get my trash gone. But I can tell you I'm retired now, and this Thursday, I grabbed stinky trash, and I went to go to Raymond and drop it off on the way, and I'm like, the gate was locked. I'm like, oh, it's Thursday and it's not 11 o'clock. So I was like, damn, I wish it was open at 9. So I don't know, I see it both ways, so I don't know. I think I chose option 3 on the thing, so.
Would that be considered a neutral vote, John?
That's what
I know. I'm
in
just,
between
fair
on that one, so.
comparison.
No,
If
that's
that
fair,
helps you all,
that's
but-
fair.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else want to speak towards the hours of the recycling center? Please.
Thank you. My name's Martha Drucker, and I've lived in the community for 35 years. I actually didn't come to talk about the recycling center. I came to hear about the town beach vote, but since I'm here, I have a lot of comments to make on this. So first, I'd like to say, when I moved to the community, the recycling center was open Wednesday through Saturdays. And that was cut back, I'm not sure when, maybe 10 years ago, plus or minus. So, you know, again, that dropped us down to 3 days a week. I'd also like to say that, in my opinion, Nottingham, for the most part, is a bedroom community. Before the pandemic, if you lived in the community, you probably worked, for the most part, elsewhere, and you had to travel to get to that job. So you were more than likely working law enforcement, 9-to-5 jobs, whatever, but you could be gone from, you know, Monday through Friday. So Saturday was the day everyone would go to the recycling center. I myself have been a public works employee for 35 years. I work with public works staff. I work with the hours they have to keep and what we have to do to serve our community needs. And sure, the guys come in early. Are they getting paid overtime when they come in early?
Their hours are set.
So they're out, so if they're working Thursdays from 11 to 7 and they have to come in early, if they come in early, are they getting paid overtime for that? So their hours are set. So whether it's open 11 to 7 and they come in at 9, their hours are still set.
They don't work 40 hours.
Right, so they work 40 hours.
No.
No, they don't work for.
Oh, they don't work 40 hours, but the hours that they work are set by,
Opening and closing.
right, opening and closing. So, in my opinion, all our public works officials go above and beyond all times of the year to service their community, whether it's winter, summer, spring, or fall. We're here to service the people that we live and work with, and they're the ones paying our salaries. So in my situation, I work in Concord. So I am gone Monday through Friday from 6:30 in the morning, usually till 6:30 at night, and probably have night meetings 2 to 3 times a week. So Saturday is the only time I can go to the recycling center. And growing up in the community, as Steve mentioned, you want to go for away for the weekend, you can't go to the dump. You have baseball, you have soccer, you have other commitments on Saturday. Thursday was a great opportunity in the summer to come home from work, pack up your stuff, go to the recycling center, and you had the weekend free. So I am a strong advocate that I think that's beneficial not only to someone in my position, but other people in the community who have young children, who are getting involved in sports, who have nighttime jobs, work weekends. If you work on a weekend, you know, if you're in an emergency or, you know, EMS or fire service, and you're working 4 days a week, and you're working Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you may not be able to get to the recycling center. So I feel for the extra few hours during 2 months or 3 months out of the year, it's made my life a lot easier, and I would really support that. So I hope you take that into consideration.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything to say, want to say?
Just to clarify, Ellen, they're not coming in at 9 o'clock in the morning and working until 7.
No, they come in, they normally show up about an hour before just to make sure the facility is set up.
So they do come in later.
They do.
That's right.
Yeah. So it's.
I just wanted to clarify that.
Their typical schedule on a 9 to 5 day is 8 to 5, and then 10 to 7 or 8 to 5, depending on what season we're in for Thursdays.
And we still have the cleanup day that they come in on Monday.
Correct.
Right. And they get paid for those hours.
Correct. Yep. So maximum hours for the employees up there is 32 per week.
Yeah.
But on average, they're working about 30.
Right, so it's not like they're working for free,
Right.
any hours.
Any more comment? Going once, coming up, okay.
Now we're gonna come.
My name's Kelly O'Connor. I've lived in the community for 8 years.
Nice.
I would just like to echo, what was your name?
Martha Drucker.
I just like to echo what Martha has said. I think that having summer hours, at least just until 7 o'clock, like how it's been going, would be beneficial, especially for people. A lot of people are starting to pay for pickup. I'm not gonna lie, myself included. I work 40 hours a week. I travel for work, sometimes an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. I found it really hard. Say I miss a Thursday during the summer, after, till 7, or say it's Saturday and I have a baby shower to go to or a family function or whatever, something pops up, that trash piles up and you have to pay the price. And I think there's single mothers, there's people in our community that could really benefit, they're working, they're commuting, they have kids. I think they could really benefit from having to not, go the route I've gone and have to pay for pickup because of, it being hard for myself, but, and having those hours when available to go later to make their lives a little bit easier, especially with just how expensive everything is nowadays.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Rick Harmon, Deerfield Road. So in talking with some of the guys at the recycling center, they were asking for support to change the hours, and were making the point that there were not very many people using the extended Thursday hours. Do we have accurate information about how many people are coming in? Because just the few people that are here, it's sounding like there's a pretty good demand for it to stay open.
Well, I mean, what they provided for these past couple of weeks shows that like at least 20 people every Thursday night were going between the hours of 5 and 7.
Yeah.
And I think the piece with that too is, we talked about before, is we're hitting summer right now. So this was done really before kind of, I guess, school vacation summer, but
Right.
for most of us that have kids, summertime's hitting now. And so, I mean, I'm just not sure if there'd be more usage if you did it for the next month.
There was very loose tracking. I haven't been able to find that it's been tracked more than, a few weeks at a time in past years. So I just went back through to when we actually initiated the summer transfer, which was on May 9th, and then it was delayed an extra week, and just went through the video log and did a people count that way. So that's how we were able to get it. But it's a very small comparison of only, 6 weeks?
So video log is camera outside the building, just picking up cars coming in and out, and
So we got 6 weeks of data here, and it's only those 2 hours.
Correct.
So we don't have the data for how much a regular Thursday gets anyway, during a noon
11
hour
to
or
5.
whatever. Yeah. So,
so just one thought, I think the guys at the recycling center are doing a great job. I've never seen it so clean. Things look pretty well organized. They seem to be on top of things. So I kind of wanted to support them on the basis of them suggesting that there's not much traffic there on a Thursday night. If there's that demand, then I'm happy to say it probably should stay open on a Thursday night. And I've forgotten about Wednesdays ever being open. I'm not sure I was aware of that. But I was thinking I would kind of like having another day. One of my concerns, though, is there's so many people coming into town, have come and still looking for places here. When you go there, pretty much any given time that I'm there, and I'm there at all different hours, it's pretty busy there. It's hard to find spaces, so I'm not sure an extra day wouldn't hurt to give people more opportunity to get in there.
We don't have it in the budget this year to have.
Yeah, I know, but just throwing it out there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And, you know, you could always change the hours for a little while and then see what kind of irate people contact you and say, no, wait a minute, I should have answered that survey.
Not
I
usually
want it
what we
over.
want to hear, but sure.
Yeah.
I think we've had enough irate customers
Yeah.
Yep.
1 year.
Thank you.
So, but before you go, you're kind of neutral?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, 24/7.
Well, if that were real.
All light hours. Yeah,
What did you say?
all light hours.
Just a last comment I'd like to make is, it's interesting that you did the counts from 5 to 7, but what are the counts Thursdays from 9 to 11? Like, there's 20 vehicles coming from 5 to 7, and there's 6 coming from 9 to 11. It seems to me we're getting more traffic and serving the community more, being open to 7 than 9 to 11. So
Potentially, yes, we don't
there's not a
know.
lot of, we're not comparing apples to apples here from a traffic standpoint.
In going forward, you know, I mean, the towns, as long as recycling has been over, the oldest one in town, or, you know, whatever, we've never done any traffic studies on what the town's actually doing. We know how much we throw away. We know what the weight of the garbage is going out. We know what we're getting for recycled. But for actual people count of who's actually going, I don't think we've ever done a study. In the 70 years it's been open or whatever, you know, it's been. So something for the future going forward, since this has come about, would be probably for this upcoming year to actually do a traffic study to see the participation of how many cars are actually going into the recycling center on certain hours, on Thursdays, on Fridays, on Saturdays, you know, because it also, down the future, can also help us foresee what we might need to do for improvements. Like you said, on Saturday, it's jam-packed in there. Well, if we know that, you know, one of those counters that you drive over with your car that says, hey, between this and this time, or whatever, this many goes up, you know, maybe the recycling center is getting too small. Now, I'm not gonna say I wanna spend the money on a new one, but again, you know, I mean, these are things that we have to look forward in the future for the town as the town grows.
And just
You
to
know?
help on that note, if you contact our regional planning commission, they do
Stratford?
traffic counts 3 times a year, and they offer it free to all communities. They'd be more than willing to come out and set up counters, and we actually have board nows where we can do turning movements to see who comes into the dump, who leaves the dump, which direction they're going, and I'm sure they'd be more than willing to assist you, you know, a couple times a year, maybe spring and fall, you know, when school's in session in the spring and when it's starting back up in the fall, to see what the usage is. They send, you know, notices out to all communities every year asking if anyone needs assistance, and it's a free service that we all pay for through our taxes, so it would be no cost to the city, to the town.
Good idea.
Yep.
Thank
no,
you.
That's a great idea. Oh, we got a new taker. Wait long enough.
My name is Barbara Jean Welch. I live on Raymond Road, and I would be yes for staying open on Thursday. My summer schedule hasn't gotten too busy yet, but Thursdays are super helpful to not have it piling up. So, thank you.
Any more comment? Going once? Okay.
Just a reminder, either way, the recycling center will be closed this Thursday. As a reminder.
Yeah.
Thank you. Damn. We will issue a next alert on Wednesday.
Yeah, you better, because there will be something on Facebook. Is the dump open?
Will not be
Those
open on the
questions
4th of
anyways.
July. So what are you guys thinking? To me, it sounds like we stay with the course and keep the 11 to 7 the way it is.
Yeah, I agree.
I would agree with you, and I think we should do a traffic count so that we can better assess the needs of the town.
Right.
So would you say that we keep the schedule going for the summer hours this year and then do a traffic count
Reassess
and reassess?
September, October, and
Right, but we want to probably do a real traffic count in the summer.
We
or
can
at
do
least
that
a-
probably this summer,
Huh?
or at least, get a Thursday night traffic count of
Yeah,
more.
but depending on what we could schedule at Stratford or whatever.
Yeah, but
And of course, the problem is we sort of need several weeks, not just a week.
Yeah.
So that could be the challenge with getting that stuff scheduled. Do we need a motion or anything?
I don't think so, because I mean,
We're not
If
changing
you're not gonna make
anything.
any change,
We're not making a change, okay.
just need to close the public hearing portion,
okay,
if you're done with discussion.
I close the public hearing for the discussion. This is nobody else's, this is your last time.
Just one quick note on your
Okay,
traffic.
see, there you go. All right.
Sorry. I just want to let you know, they typically won't do them in the summer because everyone's schedule changes. So you really want to do your counts in the spring before school gets out and in the fall, or, before and after bad weather. It's just in the.
But we need them with these hours. We need to take the counts with the hours that we,
And the peak time is July
Right.
through
Right,
September.
so I
And-
mean, if you have problems with that, if you need assistance, you can reach out to me and I can probably help you with that, work that out.
I think we
We
can.
also want to utilize the traffic count to get the full perspective of what's going on. How many people are actually using the recycling center?
Right.
Doesn't matter if they're using from 10 to 7 or 11 to 7 or whatever. I mean, just in general, is 1,000 people coming to that place, every single week. That's the kind of numbers that we need to see for our future,
I think there was a small study that was done before I got here, but I believe we put the police department speed trailer over there just to gauge how fast people were coming into the facility, and I think that does some limited traffic counting within it. So I can see if we might have that as an option. I don't know if we want to tie up the speed trailer at that location during summer peak hours, but maybe there's another option out there for us.
we haven't had that trailer that long, so couldn't have been that long ago. But, I mean, yeah, it had to be just before you started.
And some other people could be using the road for the other things besides the recycling center.
Right, you need the turning movements coming into the center, and if you want, you could reach out to me, I could help you with that. I could probably get 5 or 6 volunteers to do turning movement counts on 2 or 3 Thursdays in the evening.
you got her information?
I don't, but if you would like to reach out to
If you don't
me
mind
with
writing that
contact
down and handing that
information.
to her, that'd be great.
Problem.
We'd greatly appreciate it.
Yep,
Volunteering for the town is a wonderful thing,
I will.
and we appreciate everybody
My
that
spare
does.
time.
We know, thank you.
Thank you.
So we're closing the public hearing, since I made that things. And from what the board, we discussed right now, we are gonna stick with the 11 to 7 on Thursdays. So that is the hours going on forth for the rest of the summer. I'm sure in the future, we'll probably have another discussion about this once we get traffic counts and stuff like that for next year. But as for this year, we stay the course the way it was, so it'll be open 11 to 7 on
Need a
Thursdays.
motion to close the public hearing?
Oh, do you need a motion to close the public hearing?
You can if you want to be really formal.
Make a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
I second.
Roll call.
Hi, Steve Welch.
Hi, John Decker.
Hi, John Moran.
I, Tim DeBrio.
And then everything I already said. So, thank you all for your input tonight. We greatly appreciate it. Now we'll be going on to our regular scheduled business of the reports, town administrator's report. So we'll give a moment for anybody that's leaving to keep the room quiet, so.
Sad there was no one from the recycling center last. One of these employees didn't show up, that's sad.
Do we have to vote on it or anything, or?
They knew about it.
Okay, I'll just add.
Hey, guys, we have to continue with the meeting, so any side conversation, if you want to bring it outside, that's great.
How to clear a room?
Yep.
7:30, only 7:30 yet.
We have extra people though today. They're
there we
not
go.
normal too.
I know, right? All right, so we're going to go with the, back onto our schedule, where we on the BOS reports from assigned boards and committees. I was unable to attend at the last minute, the last planning board. But in case it wasn't brought up, the foul zone subdivision off Route 156 is basically almost a go. So that'll be coming up. There was also given names for us to review. Do we have that on here?
Yeah, you were copied.
Yeah.
It was.
So he had some good names, so again, we can discuss that, but then there was conceptual for Kevin Bassett on his property that's over off Old Lamprey Drive, Dolph Dam Drive, whatever you want to call it now, since there's 4 roads over there. I didn't get to be at the meeting, so I can't speak to it. So that's all I have for planning board.
What did they do about Kevin Bassett?
I don't know, I wasn't at the meeting, so you have to look up on the minutes or watch it on YouTube.
Okay, thank you.
You should have said something, I could have probably went or whatever.
It was the last minute where I couldn't make it, so it wasn't like it was planned. So,
It was postponed.
what?
It was postponed. Bassett was postponed.
Oh, it was postponed. See, there you go, Skip. Keep forgetting you sit with me on the planning board. We'll get there, my bad.
He filled his name, they skipped it.
Perfect. Did you want to add anything to that?
I shouldn't.
Okay, good, perfect. Thank you. CIP, obviously, we haven't met.
Wait,
right?
no, we haven't met, but Ellen did send out basically, we're checking for a date, and I don't know if you've heard back from,
I think I've heard back from all but the public members, and the school board representative, because I had the wrong one listed. I had assumed it was Danielle Roy, but it's actually Sue Levinson. That's the school board rep for the CIP committee.
Okay.
But I did tentatively schedule it for July 15th at 5:30 prior to the board meeting. That will be our startup meeting, so we can do our introductions and understand what the purpose of the CIP committee is, and then review what had been done in the past year.
What time?
5:30?
early.
I put like 5 or 5:30. I think we can probably accomplish our first meeting in an hour, but I didn't want to have it overlap with the select board meeting. That'll be taking place at 6:30 that same night.
Okay. So I gotta be early that day.
Yes,
No cheeseburgers.
no cheeseburgers, hamburgers only.
Okay. Other board members for budget, highway, rec, fire, just fire away.
Budget's meeting, I think we already mentioned in August, for our educational seminar with the state, and then rec, the fences are down out in the fields, so ready for the concert series to start next week.
Nice.
And then you might have heard that the town beach will be open soon.
There you go. Right, hey, yeah,
And
there
I'm
you
not sure
go.
if you heard that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I see the rec posted some nice pictures too about the senior luncheon that happens, for anybody that doesn't know. The rec does offer a nice senior luncheon for people to come to get together. So it's something, if you're interested and look forward to, it's great for some people that I've talked to see people they haven't seen in a while and to come together. You know, people that might have been in town for 30 years but just have drifted away. It's a good way to communicate with the people you haven't seen, because maybe they're not on Facebook, but if any questions on that, you can contact the rec department about when it happens. It happens
Every month,
every once a month,
second Wednesday.
September through June. We've talked about recycling, so we're good there. And Matt's not here for the fire. All right.
I did go to the ballot counting machine demo. It's kind of interesting. I was able to sneak out of work for a bit,
Nice.
do that, so,
Saw the new machine.
well, one of the
Okay.
options.
Did it work?
It counted stuff. I only caught the end of the iPad thing too, so because that was before it. I was late for that part.
Town administrator's report?
Okay, on your report, I have just a few announcements because I figured it was going to be a public hearing night, so I didn't want to bog down the meeting too much. Tomorrow, July 2nd, the first half property taxes are due for those that are, just a friendly reminder. I spoke with Fawn later this afternoon. The new cruiser is in New York. It's en route to us, so we should be receiving that in about a week. And Officer Sam LeMay has finished up her military training. She's been away for a month, but she is going to resume shifts with the police department next week, or this week rather, around the 4th of July holiday. And in your folder, you have a request to sign an appointment form for a new officer that's been hired, Seth Cornell. He is going to be starting with the department very soon and will be attending Police Academy in January. So he has been hired for one of our full-time positions, so we have one vacancy that remains to be filled. So that is actually your first action item, is to sign that appointment form so he can take his oath to be sworn in by the police chief. Should be in your signature file.
Mm-hmm.
So we need a motion to sign that?
Yes, please.
All right, I'll make a motion to appoint Seth Cornell as a new member of the police department. Seth, S-E-T-H. Cornell.
Or not like this.
That's a school.
Yeah.
I second.
Got a motion and a second for the hiring of Seth Cornell for the Nottingham Police Department.
Hi, Steve Welch.
Thank you.
Hi, John Decker.
Hi, John Moran.
I, Tim DeBrio.
Thank you. Forms going around to be signed presently.
At your last meeting on June 17th, you reviewed a request made by Skip Severance to unseal and make public the minutes of the non-public sessions held on March 20th of 2023 and March 23rd of 2023. Excuse me. These were reviewed in non-public session that evening. So any vote to unseal or keep those minutes sealed has to be done in the next public session, so.
We would actually need a motion to leave them sealed, the ones that we want to leave sealed.
That's how we've done it in the past.
Okay, it just seems like redundant.
Or you can just announce.
Yep.
But as far as any minutes to be unsealed, those will require a motion.
I'll make a motion for the minutes of March 23rd, 2023, non-public session to be unsealed.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Hi, Steve Welch.
Hi, John Decker.
Hi, John Moran.
I, Tim DeBrio.
And for the record, the March 20th, 2023 minutes will remain sealed.
Yeah.
So you,
we need to-
20th is sealed, 23rd open.
Correct.
Do we need to say why or whatever, or just? Okay.
Also in your packets for tonight, the Land Use Board fee schedule has been updated at the recommendation of the Planning Board. In order to update this fee schedule, you are required by statute that you have to hold a public hearing with 7 business days notice. So if you wanted to do this sooner than later, I would say the next earliest time you could do that would be during your next scheduled meeting on July 15th.
Perfect.
And I can post notice of such. Does that work?
Works.
Okay.
That's the planning board fees?
Correct. And that same evening, we will also have discussion on the building permit fees. That's an agenda item that we're carrying forward for that meeting. There were a few emails received in the Board of Selectmen public comment email. First one was from Town Clerk Lori Anderson regarding the tabulator quote, and that was based off the demonstration that we saw here last week. The second one was regarding the Secretary of State announced a program to help municipalities purchase the ballot counting machine. So we can either use that funding program towards the ballot counting machine, which we have appropriated money in a warrant article, and it can also be used toward the purchase of the tabulator. So the town clerk, supervisor of the checklist, and myself are all going to meet to have a full discussion on that and figure out what the plan is moving forward with the purchase of the new ballot counting machine and the tabulators. There was an email received from Eugene Reed regarding assessment data. There were reports that he had from, I believe, 2023 and other ones that were referenced from the 2020 revaluation manual. I'm working with the town's assessor to get copies or get updated reports to reflect the current data in order to fulfill his request. So that's in progress. There was an email from Joe Falzone with several road names that he suggested for your consideration, and those are included in your email correspondence. The first road was Spruce Peak Drive, Skyview Drive, Summit Drive, and Stone Ridge Road for the new subdivision. And see if you had any preference towards one or the other. Those are in order of his preference.
We don't have any of the street name Spruce in town, do we? I don't think we do. I know we have Hemlock and we have. And I don't believe there's any other peak, so I mean, that's only just the contradicting of the names, is that it doesn't.
Right, 911, you don't want it.
Right.
Right.
But I'm sure,
Confusion.
knowing Mr. Falzone, that he's savvy enough to probably already look that up to make sure.
Well, right.
You got something to say, Skip?
Yeah, I brought this up before. I believe any road that is,
Private,
no, dead-ended
dead-ended.
is a way. None of those are ways. I think that's just a convention that we had, like Taylor Way, yeah, all of those that are.
Well, what's Rocky Hill? Is that Rocky Hill Way?
No,
Off Ledge Farm?
it's Rocky
I
Road.
don't know.
It's Rev.
I think someplace along the line it kind of went astray, that's why I'm bringing it up. I don't know.
Well, none of them are dead end anymore.
Well, no.
Cul-de-sac.
The lollipops, yeah,
Yeah.
cul-de-sac, whatever you wanna call it, those were typically called ways. And it was so, when, if you will, 911 sees it as a way, the people,
People like me that ride joyride and don't go down a way.
yeah, the
Waste
responders,
my time.
responders know that it's a particular situation.
What subdivision were you talking about?
This is the one that's on 156 across from Nottingham Sand and Gravel.
Thank you.
There is
So-
no spruce.
Now there's a Spruce Cove in Northwood, that's the closest.
I assume Dale looked at them too, right? Did Dale review these?
He was not copied on this email, so I don't know if he has or not.
But we've basically pretty much kind of done the research Dale's gonna do right now, so.
Okay,
Right.
well, just,
Thank you for the FYI, Skip, appreciate it. Again, drive and way. Okay, there you go. So,
right.
I'm okay with the word drive. Doesn't bother me one way or the other.
Why doesn't that fall on the planning board to make that decision?
Well, it's, again, we could send this back to the planning board, but then it still has to come to us. We're the end result anyways.
Okay.
In the final scheme of things, it's, we give the permission for what the road's gonna be called.
Right, the way has nothing to do with the planning board, that's just
It's just the,
me knowing
Yep.
that that was it for a while.
there's a lot of things the way they were, and then, you know, hey, you know.
Just throwing it out.
Yeah, no, I,
So, I don't mind it's Spruce Peak Drive, I mean,
I don't care what they call it.
I think there's several ones that kind of determine dead ends. I know that if it's an avenue, it better not be a dead end. or something
Well,
like that.
it's not a road.
Right.
But the beginning names, I think are fine. I mean,
Yeah, there's nothing close to any of
Bruce
those.
Way, whatever.
And I don't know if that would be, I mean, we can present it to Mr. Falzone to say we'd like it to be Spruce Peak Lane, if you guys feel like that's necessary. You know, or we just keep it away and say Spruce Peak Drive works for us. That's what I'm looking, Spruce Peak Drive works for me, so. That's what I'm saying out here, so make your comment, tell me what
It
you
is a
think.
peak.
It is, oh,
It is a
it's,
peak.
I'm not saying, yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
So,
And it does, it is a circle.
Could you check with the 911 people and see if there's a preference?
when we did the 911 discussion in the past, it was more, they were more considerate of the names being, I don't think they cared if it's a
Similar.
lane or whatever. They were more onto, if it was this, you had two roads that said Cove on it, and they were all, you know, that kind of said, hey.
Right, so we have no spruces.
So we gotta make, so,
I'm okay with Spruce Peak Drive. That's,
Yeah, same here.
all right, so Spruce Peak Drive it is, Ellen.
Okay.
There's only one road going in.
One way in, one way out.
Okay, and then you had two emails regarding the town beach. I believe those have already been shared with you. One was from Shauna Samus, and the second was from Emily Wood. And then lastly, we have an email from David Smith from New Hampshire DOT. Several years ago, they talked about intersection improvements at Route 4, 152 and Cooper Hill Road. That has resurfaced and has made its way back onto New Hampshire DOT's 10-year plan, so there will be intersection improvements coming at some point in the next decade. So David Smith, who is our point of contact from New Hampshire DOT, has already presented to the town of Northwood, who's obviously affected the most out of it, but
Cool, that whole intersection
the
is
whole
in Northwood.
intersection, it is, but it also
Oh,
affects
it's- yeah, I
Nottingham
understand, yeah.
because we're literally right there. So myself, the police chief, fire chief, and highway director are going to meet with him this Wednesday just to get an overview of what that looks like in their 10-year plan.
What is the intersection with what?
Route 4, 152, and Cooper Hill Road.
Oh, okay.
This is not a public hearing about this either.
It is not a public hearing. This is just literally just a town officials update.
Okay.
And then there will, I'm assuming there will be public hearings as a project progresses further.
For wherever it goes, sure.
But it
The
looks
new intersection will be in Nottingham.
correct,
Just
I like
to say,
according to the plan.
according to the plan, yes. They don't want it where it is now.
Correct.
And it
It will
looks,
be in Nottingham.
and it looks like,
Plan they
this-
took was in Nottingham.
it looks like this is gonna be in the next, over the next 3 years.
It will save the culvert, however. Replacement, I should say.
I hope it's gonna be, you know, turtle-friendly too, but that's another story on that one. Yes?
Just a question on that. Are these improvements to Route 4? So this is a state-funded improvement, and there's no contribution from the town?
Correct. As of right now, we'll have more information on Wednesday. I've only been notified that,
And they didn't say if this was HSA funding or where in the state year plan?
So I'm sure after that meeting, you'll give us a,
an update.
Thank you.
Correct.
It says TVP funding. There's previous funding for the project, but the majority is coming from, I don't know what TVP is.
TBD.
So we're gonna have our first set of lights in Nottingham?
Yeah,
Oh, my God.
not a fan.
Chances are coming.
yep.
Turning lane and everything.
Well, it will make it easier.
Creates another.
Safer, I think, is the big,
That happens less accidents.
All right, anything else, Ellen?
Nope.
Assessing? We had a couple things on there.
So I'll go through them one at a time.
Yep.
We want a motion to approve map 43, lot 21. Request for abatement. Yes, no?
I second.
Motion in a second.
Aye, Steve Welch.
Aye, John Decker.
Hi, John Moore.
I, Tim DeBria.
That's the approved one.
That's the one we just approved.
Yeah.
And a motion to approve map 13, lot 21.
I second.
We have a motion in a second.
Aye, Steve Welch.
Aye, John Decker.
Hi, John Moore.
I, Tim DeBria.
And
Map 70, lot 99, I would request that we do not approve the abatement.
I second.
we have a motion in a second.
Aye, Steve Welch.
Aye, John Decker.
Hi, John Moore.
I, Tim DeBrio. You thank Chad for his detailed.
Yeah.
I think that's very helpful.
Make sure we don't sign that one.
No, we're still gonna sign it, just we're signing it to deny it.
Okay.
Oh, we didn't sign that last one, okay, that's why it's in there.
I think they were missing from the signature file. They got tucked in.
That's why I was looking, I was like, wait a second, this is not, we have this in
I
front
looked
of
back
us.
through, you made the motion, and it was carried forward in the minutes, but then the documents weren't signed.
And we missed this, okay, for the intent to cut, okay. Action items for next meeting?
Your next scheduled meeting is a work session to review the personnel policy. Proposed dates to that.
Do we think we need to have a separate meeting for that? I know I saw your questions that you relayed to Ellen, but, I mean, the three of us were part of the BOS last year that reviewed all of that. I'm just not sure if we need to get everybody together for a separate meeting, because I don't think it's gonna take an hour to go over
Okay,
that, in my opinion.
that's fine.
But what do other people think? I'm not gonna be at the July 15th meeting anyway, but I don't have any additional questions based upon.
I didn't have any. I was just going off because of what your questions and stuff were, so. I mean, I don't
'Cause I
mind.
think Ellen can address some of the
Right.
general questions
Do
with
you
you,
wanna
and
just
then,
get together with me or whatever?
Sure. Yep, we can do that.
Okay,
Okay.
I don't know when. This is a holiday.
Sometime in the
week.
next 2 weeks, before the next 15th meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should be able to do it.
Do you want to bring lunch and we'll do it on the 15th before CIP?
Oh, on.
burgers,
on 15th?
no
Let's just
cheeseburgers.
make it
No
all day.
cheeseburgers though,
No cheeseburgers, no cheeseburgers for me.
an American.
No, I love cheese, but it's
Gotta
not,
have cheese.
cheese doesn't like me. No, it doesn't, it's bad for my heart.
Burger it is.
Go through 'em.
Yeah, trying to kill me?
Let me respond and then we'll figure out a date to meet.
All right, that sounds good, because obviously this week is bad and,
Correct. No workshop.
all right, so we're canceling
Okay.
our workshop? That's fine.
So then on the 15th, we're going to be doing the second quarter budget status review and building permit fees, and now a public hearing on the land use fees. Anything else?
Again, I won't be here for that meeting. So don't be looking for me, John.
Quit bragging.
I might not be someplace fun, so. But I also might be.
Well, I mean, that should be good enough. I mean, that should be for that meeting. Is there any other, anything else anybody's thought about, heard about, or anything that needs to be addressed?
I think we're good for now.
Just so you guys know, I went to the Watercross on Saturday, you know, since we gave the conditional approval for them to do it. I gotta say, it was actually, you know, besides being really loud, and I understand why people don't like it, but the event was actually well run. They were really detailed, everybody was dressed appropriate, you know, having their, you could see who worked there. The place was gated off, the ambulance service was there, the amount of porta potties were there, the things that they had the parking areas lined out with stuff, I mean, it was
How well
tremendous.
attended was it, John?
Well, I went at 10 in the morning on Sunday, and it was hot. I mean, it was, and that's probably, I don't think these last two events, Saturday and Sunday, were attended, because I was talking to Officer Lister, who was there for both of the days, and it wasn't super crowded or anything like that. And I think it was just due to the weather, because Saturday was rainy all day, and it wasn't really pleasant. And then Sunday was just a steam bath out there, and there's no trees, so you're just baking in the sun. So I think one of the things you'll see is just, you know, the fall one usually tends to be a little bit more weather acceptable.
Right, so you had mostly just the competitors and.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good amount of people sitting around and stuff like this. They had nice bleachers set up. It was just, you know, I was happy to see that it was run well, and I could hear it extremely well from my house, because I'm not that far from it. And, you know, from what they were running, they were really seemed to be abiding by the rules of the hours of what they were supposed to. You know, there wasn't things going off at 8 or 9 o'clock at night and doing anything like that. When their shutdown was at 6 and, you know, the 10 o'clock start up, so.
I heard it from Steve's house.
Okay. But I'm saying it seemed to be, in my opinion, you know, doing okay. So I didn't see anything that was red flag for us to be concerned about. And again, if there was something, I'm sure Officer Lister would be telling our chief and we'd be hearing about it, so. Just a little public FYI, you know, keeping up with what's going on. So we reviewed. Anybody have any public comment?
I heard it was your birthday.
What?
Your mom said it was your birthday.
Oh, that was a while ago, thanks. Yeah. My mom's still out there in town.
Talking about your birthday.
It was June, it's middle of June, doesn't matter.
Like yesterday?
Not a momentum one,
Last
it's,
meeting or something, right?
yeah, something like that, but that's okay. Public comment, please come up.
Good evening, Shauna Samus, 5 Flutter Street. Just want to start by thanking you guys for your service to Nottingham. I do appreciate your time. I know that it's an often thankless job, so thank you for working diligently to get the beach reopened. I'm confident I speak for the entire town with our gratitude, so thank you very much. And thank you to you, Ellen. I did email her, and you were prompt and thorough, and you gave me as much information as I feel that you could have, and I am very appreciative, so thank you. So my primary quest was to reopen the beach, but now my secondary quest is to understand the facts that justified the town beach's closure. I attended the meeting on the 17th, hoping to learn the facts. I addressed the board and was directed to watch the minutes of the 5/23 meeting, which I did. In my opinion, that meeting did not present any facts of circumstantial legality, just many people's feelings, which I appreciate, but that was not what I was searching for. So since then, I've perused the registry of deeds for associated instruments of conveyance and applicable RSAs and trying to piece together the crux of the issue. So I have mostly a question, but Mr. Moran, when you return from your non-public, hearing, you came and you said that the town beach is a privilege, and I respectfully disagree. It's more of a question than a statement, but in my quest for info, like I said, perused the registry, and the deed for the town beach is the town beach was deeded to the town by the state. I understand that vehicular access via Deerfield Road is a little bit more nuanced, as that access easement is over a private landowner's property. So I do understand that piece of it for sure. But the town beach is, right? Am I correct in that?
How we obtained it?
No. That the town beach is owned by the people of Nottingham.
Yes, I mean, it's town property, correct.
So regarding its privilege, and really the reason I'm getting up here to speak is that the whole agreement with the landowners that has been reached has been behind closed doors for whichever reason, but I have a couple of questions. One, is the licensing, I think it was a license agreement or something that might have been struck. Is that whole deal going to be public for people to read and see? Because on the 17th I came and, it was discussed amongst you all that well, let's just see how it goes. If we have to close the beach again, we can close it. So just for, interested stakeholders, the taxpayer in the town, is that on the table? Because, in the 523 meeting, the landowners spoke and they said that the people who are using the beach during town hours, myself, a mother of 4 young children, using the beach as intended, and you're saying that trespassers who do yada yada after hours, outside of the Memorial Day to Labor Day opening are really the problem. So my question is that, I don't know what you guys reached. One, is that going to be like for public consumption? And 2, the chances of the town beach just being closed again, like, oh, sorry, we tried, now it's gonna be another month, 6 weeks, 8 weeks or whatever, until we can reach a new agreement. And so those are really my 2 questions.
So it is a public document. It will become part of a governmental record available through 91A requests. And part 2 of your question is, it is a license, it is a renewable agreement. The terms of the initial agreement are that it covers the season for which it's supposed to be open. So it's supposed to be open from Memorial Day to Labor Day. So this agreement that will be signed by the Board of Selectmen will be valid until October 1st, and then renewable upon agreement by both parties for an annual renewal after that.
Annual renewal, okay. And is the annual renewal to be, because I know this whole thing kind of happened, no one really saw it coming. So is the annual renewal like in January, February, or is it April, March, or?
No, one of the things that we discussed doing would be to have the agreement renewed after the season ends. That way, if there's any budgetary things that need to be planned for, we're right at the start of the budget season. So we have that time frame to be able to work it in.
Okay, cool, thank you.
But keep in mind that the landowners do have the right, because it's their land, to revoke the town's access on that trail at any point in time. That's part of the agreement, because if people are continuing to trespass on their land from that trail and not following the rules, then the agreement's which was to Mr. Moran's point, that the privilege might not be the beach, because yes, you're right,
Yes,
the town,
right.
the privilege is to access it
Right.
along somebody else's property through that trail. So that's the privilege that the town is being really granted.
No, yeah, I understand, and I totally understand the whole crux. I just think from the get-go of this whole, whatever conflict, it's all been lumped into one, and that's not the case. And so, and I don't own a boat, I don't own kayaks, I don't own paddle boards, but I had a baby last summer in June, and I spent every day at the beach. So I'm telling you, they're all young mothers. Most people don't have kayaks, canoes, but many people do. And I did read the quitclaim deed, where the state deeded the beach to the town, and it just strictly says for recreational purposes. And in my opinion, so this is another question, in my opinion, paddle boarding, yada yada, that's all for the purpose of recreating, active recreation. So it's unclear to me why that is something that is being, and I don't know if it's a new rule. Like I said, it doesn't impact me, but is that?
One of the concerns that was brought up by the Lake Association, who is out there to protect the health and the steady of the lake, is the fact that people coming from who knows where your boat's been, paddle boards, is the fact that you could be bringing invasive species into the lake and there's nobody there to check it. If you go to the state park and you bring a boat in, there's somebody checking your boat, your trailer, and as a courtesy, to make sure there's nothing. If you go over to the launch, there's somebody there
Totally.
doing that there. If it's open and allowed there, there's nobody to say.
Yeah.
And we don't know if you're coming over with you might have a little canoe, but it might have one of those little electric motors on it.
Right.
I mean, see,
No, that makes sense.
If there's,
We don't know if you people live on the lake, if you're taking your kayaks, your paddleboard somewhere either. So what is the difference?
again, I'm not making up the rules, I'm just telling you what they are.
Who does make up the rules? I mean, who makes up the rules for
Well-
the town beach?
It's a,
Where do the rules come from?
it's a swim area, it's a designated swim area, so you can't have boats in it anyway.
But no, her question is valid, and I share the same question. Like I said, I just am curious, who makes the rules, who sets them? Is it historically the rules, which I understand the invasive species piece, thank you. Where did that come from? Is it you all, and you can say, no, never mind, we're gonna abandon that?
Well,
because-"
the rule's been around as long as I've known. I mean, I wasn't on the board at the time of making of the rule, so.
Right, but you're on the board now, is it within
Right.
to?
But yes, the rules and regulations of the town beach are set by the Board of Selectmen, usually with a recommendation from the rec department, who oversees it as part of a Parks and Rec property.
Okay, gotcha. So, all right, well, that answers a lot of my questions. I do have some further questions, I guess, just because that, the access, I, recognize that it is nuanced, but there is an access easement over it, and the state, I just am curious if that was something that has been discussed. It's not like it's just privately held property. That access road was, I understand, to have been eminent domained by the town for the purpose of maintaining the dam.
Town doesn't maintain the dam.
I know the town doesn't maintain the dam. The state does. Right?
Right.
Correct,
Yeah, no, that was my question.
yes.
But, I guess.
But they have a separate easement.
No, yeah, I know that they have a separate easement. That was just my question, that there at some point had been some kind of, the landowners didn't build that road for the purpose to access, for the public to recreate at the beach.
It's my understanding that that's not the original access road that the state has an easement on to maintain the dams.
That it is not?
No.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, and that's just basically like why I have questions, because it's just so unclear. And this whole agreement, like I said, I think that people have hoped and believed and trusted that you all have been working towards resolution, but it's all been behind closed doors, and I hope you can all understand the temperature in the country, that there's sometimes some distrust about what's going on behind closed doors. So anyways, thank you very much. Thank you all for working on it, and thanks for answering my questions.
Thanks for coming in.
Anybody else? Before we adjourn?
I do want to make a motion to approve the agreement
Yes.
that we're going to sign off on for the use of the trail to the town beach.
Second? Aye, Steve Welch?
Hi, John Decker.
Hi, Joe Moore.
Aye, Tim DeBrio.
So this is the agreement that was made between the town and the Fernalds about the accessing towards the town beach.
I do need non-publics too.
Which ones?
A and L.
Well done with public
So we can
comment.
sign that now.
Joe Moore, sure.
Thank you. Chair and members of the board, again, it's Martha Drucker. I just had a few questions. So are the existing easements, agreements, documents related to the access to the town beach and the town beach available for public review?
There are no agreements or easements or anything related to an access. It was a handshake agreement that was put in place by the property owner several years ago, which is why we're at this point.
Right. That's,
We now have an
This
agreement.
is the new agreement.
So that will be part of a governmental record that can be.
And
supplied.
were the context of the...
It's not an easement, just to,
Right, so there's no, anything recorded at the registry for access to the lake, there's no, I'm trying to think of the word I'm looking for, but there's no, we've been, grandfathered rights. It was an agreement, a handshake, so the Fernals have the right to give it up at any time they want.
it's their land.
Right, which is fully understood. So is the contents of the agreement, is that available for public review, or? I just wanted to mention, so I'm on the Pawtuckaway Lake Association, and I have been for 30 years, and I've been taking samples at the lake and have to now walk through my backyard, walk through my neighbor's backyard, across the old dam to get down to the dam to take a sample because I can't walk behind my backyard and walk from the access to the beach to sample the lake because there's no trespassing. So it's been a big inconvenience for me, and I'm doing this on behalf of the town and behalf of the state and on behalf of the Pawtuckaway Lake Association.
So if you ask the Pawtuckaway Lake Association to ask for permission from the Fernals directly, that has nothing to do with the town, and I'm sure the Fernals will give you permission to check.
Oh, I'm sure they would too, but I'm just saying in general, they say there's no recreation for canoes or paddles or kayaks.
That's us, that's not.
Right, so my question is, I've been kayaking there for 25 years, and, if everyone's coming from the town, I don't know where else their kayaks have been, but anyone who owns a kayak or a canoe, when you take it out of a body of water, you don't have milfoil attached to it or invasive species. It's pretty much a clean boat. Where you end up getting that has to be checked. If you ever go to the boat launch, and I've done this for 2 summers, and my children have, you check in the propellers and that type of thing that grind up some of the invasive species in the lake from a motorized vehicle. Non-motorized vehicles do not tend to transport or carry the invasive species.
It's not completely true. But
So, but that's just,
go to, ask Steve to hook you up with some training.
so, but I've been to training too with the same thing, and I'm just saying typically non-motorized boats don't transport that, especially if you're in the same community. So,
Well, I mean, there is invasive species in Pawtucket.
oh, I know there are.
So if you take your boat from Pawtucket someplace else, you could bring it there. You could bring something else back. And there is a state boat launch that people should be using for their boats.
So, that's fine, but typically you don't transport it on a non-motorized boat. It's usually stuck in some of the mechanicals, but,
Typically correct, but it's
so.
possible.
So the conditions of the agreement will be made public.
And the agreement is only for access to the town beach. The rest of the items that you're discussing are part of the town beach regulations, which are separate of the agreement.
Okay. The other thing you mentioned, that the town could use help on, everyone's been, and I'm not a social media person, but I hear from everyone in the community, everyone's complaining about the town beach not being opened. So you said they're gonna need volunteers, so I just think it would be, maybe a good idea for the Board of Selectmen to reach out to all these people that have been, saying, hey, how come the town beach isn't open? And say, hey, we need help cleaning it up and to keep it clean. And hopefully all these people are gonna come out and work with the community to make sure that, the Fernald's wishes are met and our town beach is kept clean. I've been there several times and I've gone down and cleaned it up for years. People bury diapers in the sand, it's awful. So I hope people who use this facility, respect what, natural environment we have and, pack in and pack out and come and help out to help keep it clean, so.
And those are one of the things that, yeah, once it gets officially open, we'll probably do a community cleanup day at the beach.
Great.
But we first want to make sure we get it opened.
Yeah,
So
and
it's safe to get
again,
there.
I don't, my kids went through the rec program, and I don't feel it's up to the rec department to have to clean up the town beach either. I think if people bring their kids through the program, then it's up to the community to make sure if they're using it, they're helping to clean up. So, thank you.
Agreed, thank you.
I just have a quick question. So you're saying that the state maintains the dam, but it doesn't use the access road?
Oh, your name, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, Leanne Welch. 15
Address?
Raymond Road.
Thank you.
So the state maintains the dam, but they don't use the access road to get to it?
I'm not saying they don't use the access road. I'm just saying that the state has an easement to be able to access and maintain the dam, but I don't know, I believe in previous conversations, it was stated that what we know as the town beach access road is not actually what they hold an easement for.
Okay, so.
But they utilize it.
They
now
utilize it, but
because
they don't give any money towards it just for the dam?
I can't comment to that.
Okay. Is there a way to figure that out?
You would have to contact the State Dam Bureau.
Give money for
any part of the access road or anything like that to access
Well,
it to get towards the dam?
For example, for this year, they actually cleaned up. That road was, if they didn't do what they did, we wouldn't be having this conversation because the mess that existed from the winter. And they actually, because it's easier for them, I believe, to access it through that access road, that trail, they cleaned it up.
Okay. Okay.
But they didn't charge the town for it.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Catherine Noni, 12 Francesca Way. So there is another way to get to the dam besides that main road? Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't think there is, be honest with you.
Because the way that this conversation, I don't know if I'm the only one hearing that, but it sounds like there's an easement in another direction to get.
Possibly, but I don't know.
But you
I don't
didn't
know
think
for
the
sure.
easement was
I
on this
don't
road?
know. I don't,
I've been told there is no easement, but there is another way to access the dam.
On the other side.
Yeah, on the other side.
It's a path?
It's private.
It's private.
yeah, it's
Oh,
private,
gotcha.
it's all private.
Private.
If
Yeah,
it was,
it's all
it's
private,
all
it's all,
grown in
it's
and
all
like-
Fernald's property.
Yeah.
I mean, there used to be, right, a trail that went from the state park all the way to 156.
Well, who built the road?
The access trail?
Yeah, the Fernals didn't build it.
I have no idea.
No idea.
There was a road, quite like, they came from 156. They actually, through the Fernald property, and they had a grant from the Farm Association to maintain it. That has been closed for the last few years, and it's been posted. That used to be, you could get to the town beach from 156.
Right.
Well, this is definitely much more optimistic than the last time I sat in this chair. So thank you for all your work behind closed doors. I'm sure everybody's going to enjoy the summer there. It's been a very hot summer so far. As October comes and everybody kind of reviews how things went with this season and looks towards renewal or non-renewal, I know for myself, thinking all that through, as Board of Selectmen, I hear your rules for the town beach and I understand the invasive species and the boating. One thing I didn't really understand is if it's not going to be a designated swimming area, why that beach would be completely closed down to the town of Nottingham. So if you paddled, this at the last meeting was stated. And so this may be something that will have to be revisited, hopefully not, but may, right, if you can't access the town's beach from the road, but you can paddle there, and we're not having a designated swimming area with ropes anymore. That will be a question that will inevitably come up, because there'll be many people that will launch, and maybe they'll wanna, come to the beach where that's going to be a thought. I just wanna mention that, because that was
We're still
something.
gonna have ropes, and that's designated swimming area with ropes. They're coming this week.
I'm saying in season, if there was something happening to the access road.
Well, then that would.
5 years down the road.
Well, hopefully, yes.
Hopefully,
No, but I'm saying-
hopefully never.
Yes, but I'm bringing it up because that was one thing that really didn't make a lot of sense to a lot of people last time. Like, we're closing off our recreational area for everybody. So now you can't swim in it, now you can't paddle from
But
it,
those
even if you're
people
doing.
shouldn't have been doing that stuff anyway, so
But if it's
because,
not a swimming area, right?
right. But it's a swimming area currently. It was a swimming area. It's always been a swimming area. We had no access to it. We closed it because there was no access, so we closed the swimming area. Nothing else
But there
changed.
was access. There was
No.
access. Via Fundy, yes, there was. There
Not-
was vehicular
okay,
foot traffic,
were you
but
gonna
there
s-
was, and I think that's her question. Why did you close the beach? That is
We closed the
deeded to
beach.
town.
Right, because it was still closed. There's no boating there anyway. There's nothing there that allows that.
You can,
You can't,
you can launch your kayak that was just inspected. by
you
the
can,
Pawtucket
you
Woods
can.
Patrol,
Doesn't
but
make
they
it
closed.
correct.
No, you're not.
Whoa, are you also, before you,
All right, I'm
hold
just
on.
trying to jump, I'm
You
just
just-
trying to
wait a
say.
second.
And it's not, okay, so I guess to wrap up what I'm saying, it's certainly not an issue to resolve here, but I definitely want to put it out there because you guys have worked really hard, and should this come up in the future, and it's no longer going to be a designated swimming area, there aren't going to be ropes there, right? This will be something that the town of Nottingham will want to understand and talk about. So I'm
That would
just,
be a different story, right?
yes, so I'm just, primarily, thank you very much for all that you've done to reach an agreement with the landowners. Thank you.
we are going to actually thank you for all your comments tonight. And I'm sure the people at home, thank you for your comments, and the people that came, and thank you for your time attending tonight's meeting, for the town beach, also about the recycling center. We are gonna continue to our non-public business. And Tim's gonna read in for RSA. After we close out of our non-public, we'll be closing our meeting and adjourning right away. So, good night, Nottingham, happy 4th of July, and everybody, there will be a reading of the Declaration of Independence at the old schoolhouse in the center of town on July 4th at 8 a.m.